So guys, Kenneth Okonkwo in this video has taken on, to react to those who have been calling him out after he came out to say he's going to be supporting Atiku. But guess what? The person who interviewed Kenneth Okonkwo equally asked him if he's going to be supporting Peter Obi. He said until Peter Obi resigns his membership of, the Labour Party and joins ADC, that's when he's going to talk about whether he's going to support Peter Obi or not. We know that we know that Kenneth Okonkwo has made it clear from the onset. He initially said Peter Obi, Atiku, Tinubu shouldn't be on the ballot, but we don't know what happened. All we know is that Kenneth Okonkwo once met Atiku, and after this meeting, Kenneth Okonkwo now became 5 and 6 of Atiku. So many people have warned that these are like Tinubu's people. Considering what Reno Omokri is doing, somebody who once supported PDP, now he's working for Tinubu. You now talk of Buala, he once supported the PDP, Atiku in person, now he's working for Tinubu. Now Kenneth Okonkwo is supporting Atiku. Now tomorrow, you might end up hearing that Kenneth Okonkwo has joined the Tinubu scam. Anyway, guys, I'm going to allow you to take a look at how Kenneth Okonkwo reacted, if he's going to be supporting Peter Obi, if Peter Obi joins the ADC or not. Let me allow you just take a look at that video. Take a look.
Know what is going on now? If you ask me, I said they now want to give Labour Party another lease of life because they have seen that the coalition, which they never thought will work, has worked. And all the opposition leaders are together.
Let's talk about this coalition.
So the issue now is that they now want to go again and recognize any leadership Labour Party will bring, so that they will use it as distraction to some members and, of course, unsuspecting members of Labour Party, so that they will think that they have their Labour Party. And they'll be making some foolish demands on the ADC. And as always, I do not succumb to the blackmail of the intimidators and manipulators. And you know what? I cannot possibly be apologizing for the ignorance of the people who want you to do something that will not even be good for the system.
In the ADC, is Peter Obi your principal in the ADC?
My principal?
Yes.
In the ADC?
Yes.
Sorry.
Would you be working towards him getting that presidential ticket?
Now, let Peter Obi register first as a member of ADC, and I will answer that your question. Because as I'm talking to you, I know he has not registered as a member of ADC.
What do you think that is?
No, when you see him, you ask him. I am a member of ADC. So
we do have quite a number of people going through that particular dynamic in the ADC.
Yeah.
We saw all of them at the launch, but then many of them haven't left their original political parties. Maybe you can't speak for them particularly, but in your view, as someone who's a politician, is there a reason why somebody would be taking their time before making a decision to join a party that they say they're part of the coalition of?
Right. Now, as a politician, I can talk about myself and what I believe in. I had told Nigerians that I do not put my 2 legs on 2 different platforms. And that's why I don't defect. I will resign from one before going into another. Good. So whatever any politician says, you take him by his words, because I would never swear for any politician, because I don't want to die before my time.
If Peter Obi actually resigns from the Labour Party and takes up membership of the ADC, would you be working together?
One, that is a hypothetical question.
Yes.
And I'm reluctant in answering hypothetical questions. But let me tell you my strategy going 2027. First and foremost, in 2023, we believe that it was the turn of the South, and we battled it. As a matter of fact, I started planning it from 2019. When I entered APC, I made it clear. Ndibo for Buhari 2019, Buhari for Ndibo 2023. As at that time, Peter Obi was a vice presidential candidate to Atiku. And I said, I'm not going to support that ticket. Because if I support that ticket, that means the North will have the presidency for 12 years, unbroken. I am surprised that the same people who were supporting that ticket.
16 years.
Well, Buhari did 4 years then.
Okay.
And then I now said, no, we should allow Buhari to finish his 8 years.
Okay.
Because if you vote Atiku and Obi, that means a northerner transferring power to another northerner, and they will spend 12 years. I'm surprised that the same people who were against me then are now again saying that power cannot return to the North after 4 years. In 2023, I campaigned for the same Peter Obi. If Peter Obi and Atiku had won in 2019, there wouldn't even be a chance for anybody from the Southeast to contest the presidency in 2023. Because by 2023, there would be no incumbent. And the only chance that a Southeast person would have is when there is no incumbent. And then I have now learned from 2023 that in Nigeria, when you win election and you don't have the power of the establishment supporting you, they will take it away from you. Do you know that Southwest has never contested any election when there is an incumbent from 1999 to 2027.
So for 2027.
Yes, that's where I'm going. Now,
because based on what you're saying,
yes,
battling an incumbent in 2027 is futile.
Very futile. If you are from the South, you cannot use a fresh candidate from the South to defeat an incumbent from the South. Atiku and Obi failed because they were trying to battle an incumbent northerner with another northerner.
So the person to battle Tinubu, in your view, is a northerner?
In my own view, if you even want to make any impact. So all these people that are telling you, zone this thing to the South, zone this, they are simply telling you zone it to Tinubu. And I'll give you an example. In PDP, all these people now saying that PDP must declare 2 years beforehand that they should vote, that they should zone the stuff to South. In 2023, they never mentioned that you should zone to the South until after the primary election of PDP, which they lost, and when they were not chosen to be the vice president. And I'm talking about Wiki. He never mentioned that they should zone it to the South in 2023. And now he's saying 2 years before the time that you must zone it to the South. And this is the same person that has told you he will work for Tinubu in 2027. So anybody telling you you must zone any ticket to the South is telling you you must zone it to Tinubu. Because how can you use a fresh Southerner to defeat an incumbent Southerner? That person is either intellectually disorganized or ignorant or lacks political strategy. Politics is not about sentiments, it's about strategy.
Before we go on the break.
Now, look at what Tinubu did in 2015. Tinubu, do you think he didn't want to be president in 2015? But he knew it would be futile if he had gone to contest with Goodluck Jonathan. So he went and brought a northerner that had the court figure that has retired from politics. Whether his brain is working or not, he went and brought him and supported him and used him to defeat Goodluck Jonathan. And now, when there is no incumbent in power, he now came in and then used the support of the establishment to support himself. And whatever result they declared, they say he won. I believe we won that election in 2023, but it was taken away from us. So you don't expect to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Do I look like a madman to you?
So when we hear Peter be saying he's going to run in 2027,
yes,
Rotimi Amechi, same thing, and then of course everyone is talking about Atiku.
Yes.
How do you feel about those? Because it feels like almost every major player is trying to become president in the ADC.
It is expected.
Okay. And
there's nothing wrong with that. When we were going into coalition, I told people that we are united in going into coalition, but our differences will come when individual ambition comes. That is politics. There's nothing wrong with that.
Would these individual ambitions, in your view, rock? Because it's a lot of ambition from a lot of strong people. Yes. How do you keep it together with all these very strong people?
Very good. There's only one way to keep them together. Conduct a free, fair presidential primary election. And whoever wins, every other person will support the person. Any politician who is scared of going into presidential primary election and leaves ADC because of it to another party is an agent to get Tinubu re-elected.
But you see, I'm referring to some things that we just heard recently. We heard Dele Momodu talking about how much they $30,000 we're hearing for delegates. You know, so good. Now that you have these very many players, their wealth is not the same.
Good.
How is the influence of money going to affect how you pick a presidential candidate in the ADC if these primaries hold?
Very good. In politics, you have discretionary expenses, you have mandatory expenses, meaning you must have minimum amount of money in order to even operate. So anybody telling you he doesn't give money in politics is a liar, because there are mandatory expenses you must have to carry out.
Would the deepest pockets have more influence?
Now, wait a minute. You have 176,000 polling units. You're expected to have polling agent in all of them, even if you want to give them 20,000 for them to transport themselves on that day to go. Check it and tell me how much it is. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there is basic amount that you know you will spend. In 2023, and know what we suffered. We didn't have agents in some of the polling units, and it was part of the reason they stole our election. Now in 2027, if you are a candidate, you must have to prove to me that you would have to be able to provide for those things. Presidential election is not for boys, it's for men. Now, you heard that amount. I heard it too, and I chuckled. And then, if you say you want to go into presidential primary, and you say, no, these people, they will outspend you. These people, they will... Let me ask you, does the presidential primary make you the president? So if you're afraid they will outspend you, how come you shouldn't be more afraid of the general election? When an incumbent will outspend you for more than 100%, In 2027, I will no longer want to hear a candidate telling me that in this primary, I won't participate because it is dollarized, because it is. Then don't try to compete with an incumbent. So it's either you are able as a leader to influence your leaders, to influence your followers through inspiration, to convince them to vote for you, despite the fact that you didn't give them money. That is part of leadership. Or step aside, because fighting an incumbent is different from fighting when there is no incumbent. The incumbent have the resources of the state. He has the security forces of the state. And then you're saying, hey, give me tickets in the primary. Hey, these people will outspend you. And you want to go to a new party where they will give you the ticket. And when they give you the ticket, you will go and waste it. Because that does not make you president. It is the general election. So an incumbent that has the resources of the state, and you say you are afraid in the primary, and you're going to meet him, you're going to waste that presidential ticket.
We have to go on a break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the prospects of an Igbo presidency. Also, taking a look at what your plans are, because you must be in this for a reason. So please, stay with us on Hard Copy. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Hard Copy right here on Channels Television. If you've just tuned in, Barrister Kenneth Okonkwo is here with us, a member of the ADC, and in it to win it, apparently.
Very well.
Nice to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Do you have any ambitions in the ADC?
Well, like I said, any politician that has entered politics can no longer pretend he's not interested in power. I want to help to bring about a president. That is what I want to do. In 2023, that's what I concentrated on. Do you know, in 2023, they asked me, some of my people, to come and pick the senatorial seat and run. That this wave will see me through. I told them, but I'm not interested, not for now. Because if you pick and become a senator under a corrupt and incompetent president, all of you will come back spoiling your names. And that's what is happening now. I don't understand this regime. Any arrangement to take out this regime, may God bring it.
Should they be scared?
They're already scared because they're chickens.
They say people are overused, overspent, or over-recycled, and that you're not hungry in your stomach. You're hungry for power. You're using the Nigerian people, using our genuine hunger, they say, using our genuine hunger for good governance to come into power. You're just looking out for yourselves, and that they can serve by the antecedents of the members there. That perception issue, even if it's coming from the presidency, the truth is, there is a perception issue. We're looking at a lot of your members. They've been in power for a very long time. David Mark, Shehu Sani, very succinctly put it. He said David Mark used to be governor when he was a boy in Niger State, when he was in secondary school. And they used to wear their school uniforms to welcome him into the state. And he used to tell them they were the leaders of tomorrow. Meanwhile, he's still actively in politics. That perception issue, how are you going to deal with that?
Very good. You know, in law, you cannot go to equity with dirty hands. How can a party that foisted such a man that was even incoherent when we were doing campaign point a finger to another party? Do you know what? When Obasanjo was trying to go, he wanted to transmit power to the younger generation. He gave Umar Yar'Adua in his 50s, gave Goodluck Jonathan in his 40s, 50s. Who tapeted it? APC. They went back to bring Buhari in his 70s. And they brought Tinubu in his 80s, even though he's claiming 70s. But honestly, if you ask me to guess, I'll say maybe 90 plus. Now, such a party that is so dark is looking at another party that has light. And he's saying, these people are bringing recycled products. Yeah, because they want us to bring, you know why? These things are psychological attack. They want us to bring a baby politician so that they will eat him for lunch.
It's not just the presidency that is making this accusation. Even Nigerians are making this accusation.
I agree.
So when we look at you people and we've been there. Rotimi Amechi was Minister of Transport. We are still alive.
Very good.
We saw all these people. John Oyegun was the very first chairman of the APC.
I agree with you.
We saw what they did when they were in office. Rauf Aregbesola, when he was
very good
Minister of Interior.
I concede.
How are they different now? Did old age make them better?
No. What happened is this. You are fighting an incumbent. So you would have to get a team that will match him. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. They are sharks. What do sharks do to small fishes? They swallow them. These people they have the war chest. They have the strategy. They have been tested. The only thing that will take power to the new generation is when you get a transitional leader who actually is sincere in transmitting power to the next generation. If Tinubu continues to do 8 years, have we gotten a young one? So the only thing is, if you get somebody that win him first, and you will give the condition of electing that person, that you have to transit to the younger generation. Otherwise, Tinubu will win again. And have you gotten the youth you're talking about?
The ADC is not without its problem. There's a court case They say you entered illegitimately. They said you entered through the back door, and they have gone to court to find out if it's if what you've done is okay.
What is their local standing?
Well, they want an interpretation
That
the adoption that was done by the coalition of their party, if it was legitimately done.
Good.
Because they said they had pending cases. They are also arguing about the legitimacy of Ralph Nwosu to be able to do that handing over. They said he hasn't been a member of the party, even though he's the founder.
Yes.
That there's a case that really doesn't give him the power to be able to do that.
All right. Now, let me tell you, because we did our due diligence.
Okay.
Every pending case against the leadership of ADC was resolved through ADR and was withdrawn. That's why you're not seeing about any old case. That's why you say they filed an action. So is there any old case that you have mentioned? This case is filed, the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob. Why have they not filed the case? Fresh case against Mosu. Okay, now let me give you this example. You have been praying. You have been saying that Mosu has overstayed and that he should step down. And then he stepped down. And rather than you're rejoicing. Because if you had gone to court, court will say it's now an academic exercise because he has stepped down. Now again, they asked Kachuku, who is the chairman if not Nwosu? He said nobody. Can an organization operate without leadership? And he acknowledged that even INEC recognized Nwosu as the chairman. And that is why they are not in good terms with INEC. So what a third party needs to do if he wants to buy land in Abuja is to go to Aegis. And if the land is well documented in Aegis, he gets a good title. INEC, the supervisory organ of parties, recognize Nwosu as the chairman. There is no pending suit anymore.
So guys, to end this video, I want us to take a look at a headline on the Twitter space. This is saying, breaking news: Imo State government gives herdsmen July 24th, 2025 deadline to end open grazing. Nigerians are wondering, where did Hope Uzodinma finally got the courage to talk to the Fulani herders? This is somebody who embraced the Fulanis and, distanced himself from Imo State. I mean, if you've not heard about Hope Uzodinma's relationship with the Imolites, go and ask question. This is the worst governor in the history of that state. A man who watched his young men being killed by military, by police, by his security outfit. There were a lot of security-related challenges in the state, and this man did not even deem it necessary to take other techniques, in resolving the problem in the state. Like Peter Obi always say, there is nothing wrong in dialoguing. This man failed to call his people. Actually, there was this security issues in the state, but Hope Uzodinma decided only to go kinetic. Even in the north, the military men, like the chief of defense staff, will always tell you that it must not be kinetic. They are negotiating with Boko Haram. They are paying them. You must have seen the headline that says that police is protesting, that they are paying Boko Haram people more than them, and the Borno State governor spent a lot of money in rehabilitating Boko Haram, and while schools are wasting, schools are in dilapidated state. So guys, Boko Haram members are enjoying terrorism in Nigeria is being encouraged by our leaders, because if you are a citizen going by the rules and regulations, you'll be the one suffering. But those who challenge the state, they will be begged, they will be offered money, they will be offered all kinds of things, just for them to calm down. Now, Hope Uzodinma refused to, negotiate or even sit down with those who were troubling the state. But guess what? He tried to confront them, and that ended the lives of many Imo State youths. Imo State people will never forget what Uzodinma did in that state. It was horrible. For me, he remains the worst governor. You can't even see the development. All those roads you see in Imo State, people keep saying it's Rochas or culture that started all their construction, and that did majority of them. Hope Uzodinma wants to take the glory because he feels he's there for 8 times. Anyway, when Rochas was there, people were complaining that it was like a family business. Hope Uzodinma came in. We don't even know what legacies he's going to leave behind. Anyway, let me take you through some of the reactions. Like this person say, is this for real that Hope Uzodinma is telling Fulani herdsmen to quit open grazing? Is this for real? Where is it reported? If true, this might just be the only good thing this governor did. But I can't be very optimistic until it's confirmed and upheld. They should round them up and put them in a truck, send them back to the north. See, Fulani herdsmen, I don't know if they use juju on Nigerian politicians. Why is it that nobody can dare the Fulani herdsmen? Why is it that no government comes in place, including Bala Blue? No government can stand and issue Look at even Abuja, everywhere they are littering it with cow dungs and all that, moving from one end to the other. It's only in Ghana I saw a government that came out to say, if we see your cow roaming the street, we will catch it, we'll buy it, we'll take it to the prisons for them to use it to cook food for prisoners. But in Nigeria, they play with everything. This person say, if you are doing animal husbandry, okay. This person say, next, every administration song. This person say, deposit, oh, sorry. Anyway, there are a lot of reactions. Nigerians have been reacting, and in the Imo State people have been reacting that they are not sure if this is really true. That Hope Uzodinma opened his mouth to say that he's giving the Fulani herdsmen ultimatum to leave the state. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.